looking to build on consecutive mid-197 scores on the road with the added comforts of home, and that is what, Janelle McDonald? On period. And the Illini have a show of their own, the Cho Show. Freshman upstart Chloe Cho returns to her home state as Illinois looks to pose a threat to the preseason conference queens, the Bruins. Hello and welcome inside Pauley Pavilion. I'm Evan Heider, joined by Margzetta Frazier, storied alum of the Bruin program. And like I said off the top, 2 197.55s are the last road scores for the Bruins. They're looking to elves at home with a little extra boost. And Jordan Childs, 2024 Olympian, will be a huge part of that.
Hey, bestie. So Jordan Childs, I admire her experience so much, but the most specific thing I admire about her experience is the ability to have fun and just let loose. And the girls will definitely pick that up today.
Big Ten Co-Gymnast of the Week, undeniable accolades that she'll be looking to build on, undoubtedly, this week as well. On the other side of things, the Fighting Illini are coming all the way from Champaign to Westwood, and they are led, as we mentioned, undeniable all-around force, Chloe Cho. She's a California native, and she'll be looking to continue her momentum from last week into today.
Beautiful gymnastics from Chloe. She has that elite edge straight out of elite competition, and that is so important when it comes to locking in and being incredibly focused.
Taking a location order, UCLA will follow typical Olympic order, flip-flopping with the Illini. We can start with UCLA on vault, and they're looking for big numbers from their 10-0 start value contributors. And we also talked to Janelle McDonald about some lineup changes that we're seeing today. Brooklyn Morse has come into her own the last few weeks with her handspring pike front half. It's a big 10-0 start value, and hopefully she's zeroing in on that landing with chest up.
Brooklyn, I consider her gymnastics royalty. Incredibly rich history, an extensive background from her incredible career. She has been working through these injuries as long as I've known her, and I can't even tell. She's the epitome of excellence, elegance, beautiful.
Going to take a look over at the Illini, their planned lineup on uneven bars. It's punctuated by Michaela Green in the anchor spot, hitting that 9. This team is really building momentum, much like the Bruins. From their first meet to their second, it was a 2.1 differential. That's huge, Mars.
That is huge, but what matters is when we peak. It doesn't matter how many schools win when it comes to this era in the period of competitiveness. It really matters when you peak at the right time. A lot of schools are going to do great, or they're not going to do so great. What matters is staying healthy and consistent and showing up and performing when it matters.
Mentioned off the top some lineup changes. New face Maddie Agimi stepping in to that lineup. We'll see her third. It was very important for Mika Webster-Longan to get some exhibition experience. And speaking of experience, Emily Lee will look to zero in on this Yurchenko full in the leadoff position.
Emily is an excellent leadoff. Perfect.
Zero in she did. Puts it right down how UCLA wants to start.
Perfect Yurchenko full. That is what a leadoff is all about.
Getting one more look at it here. Glues those feet together, maybe just at the very end, touching those toes together to be able to accommodate the landing. That's, again, exactly the way that UCLA wants to start things.
Absolutely.
Quick look over here. It's Ariel Ward in the first slot for the Illini. For UCLA over on vault, it is, they're 14th in the nation. Over here on bars, Illinois ranks 30th. So some room to improve, but week over week, big. Last week they were 49-2 overall. First handstand, what do you think, Mars?
Gorgeous first handstand from that pendle kick to a straddled Jaeger on the high bar. Gorgeous overshoot.
Working really smoothly here. Could extend the ankles just a little bit more through her toe point, setting up for the dismount.
Get those toes up. Wow. A wonderful stick. That arm circle is probably going to be a half-tenther, but a great lead-off routine.
Fights for the landing, and you raised an important point there with the dismount. Feet didn't move, but clearly showing some off-balance adjustments will incur deductions, but in terms of your lead-off performer, definitely one that they wanted to count there from Ariel Ward. Solid for the books from the Illini. Getting a look now at our one to watch on vault for UCLA, it's Brooklyn Moores. Again, this is going to be a 10-0 vault. So Emily Lee starting from that 9.95 with the Yurchenko full. They're building up here to a 10-0 start value from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn is an exceptional vaulter. She specializes in front tumbling, which a lot of gymnasts, they either prefer back or, I find that really interesting.
We mentioned off the top, the chest position is particularly vulnerable in these front entry vaults. This will be important. Here's the dismount one more time from Ariel Ward.
We have a double twist. I apologize. We have a single twisting double back, which is very hard. That's an E-leveled element.
And she said, let's go. Getting the Illini fired up over there. And as we've seen so often this year, a little bit of judging delay in the first athlete. Right now we're seeing a 9.90 posted for Emily Lee. So just a half-tenth of deduction from perfection on that vault, starting out of a 9.95. Brooklyn Moores now stepping onto the runway, waiting for the green flag.
It's all a mind game.
It is. You can tell by her face, waiting to see if the flag is up. It is not. So staying loose will be Moores. We are going to see her on 3. You said Mars has had to manage injuries throughout her career, but really coming into her own, probably feeling the ticking clock of gymnastics and like, hey, I don't have that much time left. I better capitalize on this season.
Absolutely. It's more of a celebration. I almost feel like she sees it as a sigh of relief. She's so talented, and I can't wait to see what she takes on after gymnastics.
Full house here in Pauley. When we were here for Meet the Bruins, school was actually not in session, so it's great to see the student body come out in force to Westwood today. And here we go, Brooklyn Moores. She's had to wait. Let's see how she adjusts.
Front handspring vault with a half twist, a hop, and a step. Those little things are going to add up, unfortunately, but that's one of the hardest vaults in the NCAA.
Maximizing those landing deductions is going to be important. We mentioned the chest position. I thought it was outstanding. Chest was straight momentum. It seemed like her shoulders tilted a bit back with that chest up. So compensating, like you said, with multiple landing deductions. Second slot up here for Illinois, it's going to be Destiny Denning. Waiting on the first number for Ariel Ward. It's a 9.75 leadoff.
I see Destiny's coach there just for some support. You cannot actually touch the gymnast. That is a deduction. Beautiful overshoot to handstand. Great routine so far.
Significant leg deductions, I would say, on most of her major elements, even through the top of her tap and both flips of that double layout. Tiny hop forward for Denning.
Tiny hop forward. She had her toes glued together. It's just so interesting with body anatomy. You can have your toes glued together and it can seem like your legs are apart. Gymnastics is very different. I have the same problem.
Taking a look here at the lineup addition for this week for the Bruins, Nadia Yimi, she will step up and perform her Yurchenko full. Last week, Janelle McDonald and her staff learned some lessons, and they really wanted an insurance policy, if you will. And that's what a lot of these Yurchenko fulls in their arsenal offer. Solid number, really giving the athletes a chance to get their feet underneath them, literally and figuratively, and also provide her teammate with an opportunity to step into the exhibition slot and work that 10-0 vault as a freshman.
You want to compete with confidence, and you want to compete with skills where you believe in yourself. And Maddie has been a great vaulter for us for the years that I've known her, and she's gotten better every single year. Getting a quick look here at Janelle McDonald in her third season as head coach. Still a lot to work out on the judging side of things. We see the posted number for Brooklyn Moores at 9.775. In the air, on the table, Brooklyn Moores 9.979, and Maddie Anyimi has the go-ahead. She's locked in. Landing will be crucial. Okay. A pretty big vault. I would rather a hop back than a step forward any day.
Definitely. And we saw the flare out just before. Watch her arms come out wide right here, stopping that rotation and giving herself time. But like we said, I think she delivered on exactly what Janelle McDonald wanted from Maddie in this lineup. It's that insurance policy. It's a clean, full, minimal landing deductions. Obviously, the hop was there, but better than a fall that they saw last week.
Go big, be clean, and land on your feet.
Third spot here will be Marilee Muller, following Destiny Denning's 9.725. First cast handstand looks strong.
To a packed salto. Pirouette. Oh, she tried to get there right on top. If she would have slid her left hand into the middle of the bar, it would have been easier to post up and push up.
Working hard to get the momentum of the routine back in order. Double layout, significant pike down on that dismount. Takes one step back. Disappointing for Marilee Muller there. Right here, another look at the dismount. Taps up.
Beautiful. She was just a little nervous. She anticipated that landing too early. She did not have to.
You saw that high bar pinging a little bit. That means the point of release, probably not ideal to allow it to rise up to the maximum potential. But with the problem on the apparatus, she really wanted to get it safely to her feet. Quickly now over to vault. It's Shea Campbell, going to be another Yurchenko full. Talk about airtime and the flare.
Wow.
Amazing there in the fourth spot for UCLA. Confidence, I would say, just a flicker of her midsection. It was a little bit of a bounce there. Feet did not move, but probably inches away from perfection there. Shea Campbell, another look.
Shoulder angle, perfect. Perfect form. Flares the landing just because she can flare the landing. She's that high in the air.
Digs those toes in. Tiny tilt forward from Shea there. We'll see what the judges do with that one, but she is always the insurance policy for Janelle McDonald and these Bruins. Was working 10-0 vaults in the preseason and over the summer, but back to this Yurchenko vault, it's undeniable. I use that word a lot because that's part of the beauty of gymnastics, doing things that are undeniably at the level of perfection or close to it. Great to see there for Shea Campbell. For her 9.75, they'll be looking to build in the last three scores. The problem on the apparatus, Marilee Muller, 9.25. So Amelia Knight salutes now. She'll be looking to get the Illini back on track. Giving herself an extra moment. Many of the Illini start on the low bar, right into this toe on, toe off. Maloney skill up to high.
Beautiful overshoot. On this cast handstand, you just have to breathe and try your best not to rush off of the equipment.
Saw some aggression there. She'll look to zero, and that's the lift.
There it is. She was patient, and she absorbed it.
Stunning example of a double layout dismount for Amelia Knight. Gets the Illini back on track. Shea Campbell, we said inches of perfection, 0.025 away from that 9.95 perfect mark on the Yurchenko full. It's a 9.925 for Campbell as she pumps up 2024 Olympic gold medalist Jordan Childs. Different looking vault here. Half on, tucked front, half off.
There's that undeniability.
It's a dart. And we see comparison on these landings for the Bruins. We saw Shea with that tiny tilt forward right there. Chest position was great. Feet did not move. Possibly a little bit staggered. Let's look here. Watch her feet right there. Slides those heels together. Boom.
That vault requires so much patience. Incredibly difficult.
I would say week over week, we're seeing Jordan become more patient with that block, giving herself that air time that we know she can get to really spot the landing and put it straight down. We talked about Amelia Knight getting things back on track. They've crossed over into the 9.8 range. She has a 9.80 in the books. And here's their star for 2025 so far. It's Chloe Cho.
Enjoy the Cho show. Nice Maloney to the high bar. Super high pack salto.
Really
Deep
dynamic
blue.
there.
Nice Van Leeuwen.
Aggression is building for the Illini double A.
Wow, okay. Hangs on to the landing. Zero chest deduction. She was straight up.
Very nice. Exactly where you want to be. And Cho is so crucial to every lineup she's in for the Illini. 10-0 vaults with Childs and McGowan, 1.5.
That's a big vault. I'd rather you go big. Every time we're on vaults, well, back in my day, the first thing we would say is go big. And that's the most important. Because when you're that high in the air, you can figure out what to do and what you need to adjust.
And as you noted earlier in the lineup, Marzetta, a hop, so much better and easier to control. Even in the mind of the judges, just a little hop, better than a step, and McGowan delivered on that. The one thing I do want to point out, the directional lines serve as a suggestion for the judges to take deduction. She was veered over to one side, so we'll likely see that number become a little bit lower after that. We talked about Chloe Cho building. It's a 9.85 for her, setting up anchor Michaela Green, who you have some history with, Mars.
Absolutely. So Michaela Mickey is a fellow Jersey girl. She actually trained with myself and both of my sisters at Starbound Gymnastics many years ago. Gorgeous handstand, very aggressive bar worker, which is the way to go.
Hunting for the 9.9. Tilts over just a tiny bit in the double layout dismount, but I would say the tight form was exemplary on that dismount. She's coming back from injury too. Great to see her back.
That injury climb is one of resilience, and it proves to you that you can get through anything. It really shows your mental toughness, and I love seeing the smile on her face.
Quick look back here, tight form. Actually, legs stay apart throughout that. In slow-mo, we see that even more. It was a quick rotating one in real time. We'll see what the judges do. Obviously, an adjustment there. So quick update here, back to the UCLA side of things. Jordan Childs had a 9.925 and Macy McGowan with a 9.8. Bruins unofficially in with a 49.325. Getting a quick look at the exhibition of Mika Webster-Longen. Remember, Coach McDonald said this is an important space for her to gain confidence in. Had trouble falling last week on this vault. It's a 1.5. When she hits it, it's great.
That looks very good. I feel like she was just nervous and rushed the entry onto the table.
Possibly working through some of those nerves and just the mental mindset that you need going in for a blind landing, but to her feet safely. We're wrapping up the first rotation. The Bruins in with a 49.325. That was a great example from Longen. Bruins will move to bars. We'll be back with more right after this for LA. Today in Poly Pavilion, it is important to recognize that individuals affected by the fires were given free tickets, as well as first responders. Up to 1,000 were covered by UCLA Health. Mars, talk about what this unfortunate situation means for these athletes and how they can help.
You have to respect nature. It's so powerful. It's the most powerful thing that exists. And when it comes to gymnastics, this just shows why we do what we do. It's so much bigger than the sport itself and winning medals. It's about making people happy and spreading joy and giving hope. And the gymnasts know this.
The Bruins doing it for their city, and another important.
Gorgeous routines coming from Jordan. She is just living her best life right now. She loves collegiate gymnastics and couldn't wait to get back into it. Won the all-around in Maryland, did her brand new viral floor routine. I'm very excited to see her nails. Hopefully we get a close-up on that.
We're going to get a quick look before the look back at her 10.0, but we're going to look at some highlights from rotation number 1. It's Childs herself. We talk about the airtime and the block. Patience there. Great.
She waited that half a second before the twist, which makes all the world of a difference.
It was a 9.925 for Childs. Taking a look at The Jersey girl herself, Michaela Green, she anchored that lineup in a big way.
Anchoring is a big deal. You have to put your most confident, most fierce competitor last, and she definitely got the job done.
Tiny bit tentative on that half pirouette, but really, I would say the highlight of this routine was the double layout. Fights for the landing with the rest of her Illini crew.
First event, you never know what's going to happen.
Alrighty, now taking a look at Jordan Childs, getting in the mindset for bars. She had the 10.0 last week. It was pretty close to perfection, I would say. Maybe a flicker of a foot movement there, but judges saw nothing.
I don't know what you're talking about. It was perfect.
It was perfect. We are going to take a look at it right now. Starts off in a big way.
Aggressive swinger.
Pike Tkachev connected right to Pak Salto.
See how she slides that hand directly under her? And that's how she can push up on top for that pirouette.
That elite finesse. You just go on autopilot. All right, here's the dismount.
Boom. Oh, I see what you're talking about. With the foot.
A little bit, but in real time, depending on where everyone is sitting, you never know, Mars. The judges are keeping us on our toes around the nation. They're proven time and time again.
The judges are always keeping us on our toes forever, since all the time. So, loving that. And with all this new standardization going on, with having scores becoming more uniform within the whole gymnastics world, that's very interesting. And I'm excited to see how the scores kind of maneuver itself into postseason, because that's usually when we get our most accurate scores.
Very interesting. And speaking of interesting, we're going to capping off at a 9.925 for Ward. And then on the Bruin side of things, coming into her own again as a veteran, it's going to be Frida Esparza with that big Bahard wash transition.
There's so much history when it comes to Frida's bar routine. It really comes down to the Bahard wash from Mohini, I believe 2004 Olympian, and Peng Peng Lee, I believe, did a very similar routine. There's just so much UCLA history in that, and Frida, in my opinion, is doing the hardest bar routine in the NCAA.
You would believe 2004 Olympian, you're correct.
Look
Taking
at me.
a look here at Frida.
I went to college.
She will go 5th in this lineup.
Frida is such an aesthetic gymnast for me to watch, down to her makeup, to her hair. I have always loved performance value when it comes to any sport. Even the baseball players, when they wear their chains, I love when you're an individual, and I've always seen that in Frida. She is just such a standout.
Bringing it back to the bars, the Bruins are ranked 21st there. We're going to take a look now at the lineups. Illinois on vault. Taking a look here, they'll be led off by Olivia Coppola. Chloe Cho, their standout freshman in the second slot. Gordon, King, Muller, and Ward, who we've just heard of her prowess. She'll round things out for the Illini.
Vault is a make or break event for most teams, and it just comes down to body position and who takes the least amount of steps.
Yeah, landings. You've got to optimize. Minimize and optimize. All the eyes is. Speaking of optimizing, we mentioned UCLA, 21st in the nation on bars. That isn't indicative. All of these athletes are capable of a 9.9. Getting our start with Shea Campbell over to Rosen, who we're getting a look at right here in the second slot, and Malabuyo, McGowan, Esparza, all important in the 5th, and Jordan Childs will look to replicate perfection this week in the anchor slot.
I can promise you, every gymnast in this competition at practice is hitting 9.9 and higher routines. But what matters is what you do when you salute those judges.
The top teams in the nation, that's really how they think about building their lineups. For UCLA, it's going to be who can go 9.9 at any spot in the lineup, who can go 10 at any spot in the lineup. They're pushing the envelope of perfection, and it's definitely, an occasion that we'll hope to see them rise to. What can we expect to look for on vault here?
Vault, it's a quick event, but you have to be very efficient. You want to look for form, height, distance. There's something called a fake stick It's when you kind of finesse that landing and you make it look like it was a perfect landing when it really wasn't. That's not allowed anymore. That's a deduction.
Don't trust it. We need to see full control for 1 second with your arms extended overhead. The judges will be looking for it. We're getting a look here at the leadoff. It's going to be Olivia Coppola. She salutes, and we are getting underway with rotation number 2. 48.375. Illinois needs to build.
Solid Yurchenko full, exactly what I would expect from the leadoff.
Zeroes in on that landing, and the important thing is that she optimized and minimized bars.
On bars, you want to look for rhythm. That's a huge one. Is it swinging? Is it consistent? Handstand position, perfect example. And form. Shay's toes are glued together, sticks the dismount, small hop in the dismount, but a beautiful leadoff routine.
Dismount is a big test for Shay Campbell week over week. Really liked how she got her shoulders in front of the hips to take that small controlled step, and that's what they want from Campbell in that leadoff position.
On those front elements, you would much rather hop forward because that means you over-rotated the ball.
Taking a look now at Chloe Cho, Olivia Coppola, 9.8 leadoff, very solid number. I would say that's how Illinois looks to start every rotation.
I agree. Sensational. Sensational.
I would say very equitable vault to Coppola's in the leadoff, but with just a little more extension through her hips. But Illinois, undeniable on the landing in the run-up through the American Classic season. Had a lot to do gymnastically last year. Shay Campbell is in the books with a 9.775 leadoff. I would say that's a conservative score. Had a couple things on the bars, the backswing of the transition up to high bar. We'll see what Caitlin Rosen's response is in the second slot.
Perfect. Effortless Maloney.
That backswing super clean, leg separation, just a flicker on the pec salto.
Very nice pirouette. Let's see if she can get those toes up. Over rotation, but I take it.
Just a scoot back there. You saw her come off the bar. We saw the chalk flying, the bar pinging. Again, just recognizing not the ideal point of release for the dismount. And I would say she scooted her hips in just a little bit to pike down. Solid one in the books. Not going to be over 9.9 just yet, in my opinion. But we'll see how the scores continue to build.
I'll give her a 10 for the celebration.
Speaking of building, Chloe Cho, 9.875. Here it is, Maya Gordon.
Oh, man. When that adrenaline hits, you can either overdo it or underdo it. And I think she just ran too hard and her knees buckled.
A much lower number than usual from Maya Gordon, but does look like she is up and walking okay back. And this is also kind of one of the realities. You see a quick vault here, and Emma Malabuyo gets the green light. Things continue. Caitlin Rosen continues to build from Shay Campbell's 9.775 with her 9.8.
Very nice release elements back to back.
Dynamic there with a bit of separation. Toe on, toe off, winding up for the dismount.
Full twisting, double back, perfect landing. No deduction on the landing. None.
Really great finish there from Malabuyo. An Olympian as well for the Philippines. Last summer in Paris. Amazing experience. Was on a wild ride to get to Paris, but amazing to see that pay off for Emma Malabuyo.
Very happy for Emma.
Still waiting on the number, and we can expect some slowness on the eval side of the judges for Maya Gordon. Definitely not something they expect, needless to say the athletes expect. So probably a little bit more time here. We are seeing some numbers come up, just waiting to get them fully in the books. Eden King now will look to right the ship Mars, what's going through her head as she saw an unfortunate, kind of uncharacteristic, almost jarring fall before her?
That's just gymnastics, and I'm sure we're going to drop that score because only 5 count out of the 6 vaults. And what's going on through her head is, I have my team's back, I have my teammates back, and it's now or never. I've trained for this, my body knows what to do, I just have to let it rock out.
We'll look to start fresh here. We're seeing a 7-6 posted for Maya Gordon. Green flag is up for Eden King.
You got this, Eden.
Crucial here for the Illini and their momentum.
Yep.
Autopilot. We talk about the insurance policy of Yurchenko fulls, and that was a great example of one. I would say it's a dynamic vault, good lift, and minimal landing deductions as well. Quickly back to Macy McGowan. Scores continuing to build. Malabuyo in with a 9.85 before her. Free hip to start.
High flying to Pacha, connected to a bail.
Aggressive, paying off so far in this routine.
Wow, perfect.
The freshman delivers. Best outing of the year for Macy McGowan on bars. And like I said, aggression was the name of the game for McGowan there. She was really taking all of the handstands we saw to the top level.
See how she stalls her toes at the top of this dismount? That's how she's able to spot that landing and already know what to do before the ground is there.
And we got an interesting look there on the dismount because so often we talk about toe and foot form. Macy McGowan right there, it looked like she had one foot because they were so stuck together. Beautiful example of exactly how your feet should be in the air.
Beautiful gymnastics, I agree. Beautiful thing I know.
There you go. Eden King before Marley Muller had a 9.75.
Yurchenko full, solid. You see her left toe on that line. I'm not sure if the judges will take it.
Quick look at Marley Muller's vault here. We can see it drift over just a little bit. It's interesting, she twists in that direction.
Oh, if she twists in that direction, that tells me that she twisted a little too early on the vault.
Anticipating what to do, and honestly understandable with a fall before you.
Yeah.
You want to just get it to your feet, do what you know how to do. Maybe don't go for that stone cold stick.
A lot of the time, we just want to get on and off the equipment as fast as we can.
Bruins building up, but not yet over that 9.9 threshold. Macy McGowan, 9.875, setting up Frida Esparza.
My favorite routine.
The hard watch down to low. I would say floatier than most weeks. Frida's really letting it fly today.
I am just in awe. I'm sitting here with my mouth open because of how gorgeous that hard watch was. The most beautiful routine I've seen her do. She can't even believe it. Look at her.
Exemplary. And she took her time to really settle into the dismount and let the judges settle into that dismount and say, still not moving. Still not moving.
To do in gymnastics is be patient, especially when you're under pressure. Like, you're really only doing gymnastics if you're an all-arounder for less than 5 minutes total.
Look at Janelle McDonald back there, the double layout.
She loves it.
Puts it right down. Frida Esparza, great to see. Another one of those grad students really having the best gymnastics of her life. Quickly, Aria Ward in the anchor.
Our vault winner from last week, and we can see why.
Very aggressive Yurchenko full. She saw her teammates step up before her, gave her a little more freedom to fly there. Marley Muller before her, 9.8. Really like this aggression. Let's watch the body position off. Tiny bit of closure in the hips, but optimizing for the landing.
She hangs on with those toes, and she's a fighter. You have to fight for those landings no matter what. I like that vault a lot.
The last three really saving the rotation for the Illini. We'll have their event total here shortly. We talked about the 9-9 threshold. Well, the Bruins are over it now.
Beautiful handstand. She did a pike staccato. A little quick on the pirouette. Nothing major.
Textbook on the last handstand. Here we go. It's the dismount.
Full twisting double back. And remember when you mentioned earlier the bar pinging?
Saw it again.
Seems like she, same thing. We let go a little too early.
Looked a little rushed throughout this exercise, if I'm being honest, but there were moments of greatness, and that last handstand was one of them. And yep, I think she was just eager to get off the bar, step forward. Unfortunate for Giles, but solid performance in the books.
That was still a good routine. Jordan just sets the bar so high.
49.025 unofficially for Illinois on vault. We'll see what Giles' number brings us here. They were at a 49.225. Very respectable for the Bruins. We'll see if they can get a little more. We will be back for a look at highlights from rotation number 2 here in Pauley Pavilion. Next up, Bruins head to beam. Illini will be on floor.
Yeah,
Illinois on vault, getting over that 49 hump, which I feel like is crucial. And we saw that uncharacteristic miss over the table, just a front handspring in the middle of their rotation. But they really did well. And Chloe Cho was a huge part of that. She really zeroed in on the landing, and I would say it was exemplary body position off the table, and Matt Yurchenko full. Quick highlights here, and it's going to be Chloe Cho off the top. Let's take another look at this one.
Exemplary is a perfect word because that's pretty close to textbook.
And not only did Chloe Cho zero in on that landing, but so did Ariel Ward right at the end. Oh, getting a quick look here at Muller late in the rotation, getting things back on track. Here we go, Frida Esparza. It was a 9.925, and like I said, looked floatier today than usual, Mars.
She looked so in the zone. I knew this was going to be a huge routine. She is taking her time, and that's very hard to do, especially with all that adrenaline.
Difficult transitional elements, and Janelle McDonald already getting hyped up. But what was to come? It was that amazing double layout dismount from Esparza.
When you take your time in this sport, everything falls into place.
Really great to see, and it feels like the energy, Mars, I'm looking behind us, the stands, they know how to pack it here in Pauley. Looks beautiful with the full house here. Everybody having fun today.
A sea of people. I love it. I love it so much.
Talking about the Bruins going to beam, their last 2 events, beam and floor, they're number 3 in the nation right now. Talk about Bruin beam and the level of excellence that we can expect to see across the lineup today.
Beam for UCLA has always been standout in my opinion, just because of how they train in the gym. And their coach, Lacey, has been doing an exceptional job not only getting them prepared mentally, but keeping their bodies.
Lacey Dagan coaching beam, giving some words of encouragement. She is, again, a huge part of what we're seeing from the Bruins on beam this season as the coach who looks after this day in, day out. However, Mars, you can also mention that in warm-up, sometimes it's better to feel a bit off so you know, okay, that's exactly where I don't want to be,
yes,
and make those changes for the competitive routine.
Honestly, that's the mindset for a lot of preseason. You want to go as big as you can so that you're not going big for the first time at a major competition. You want to do that now. You want to get those mistakes out now. It's all about when you peak at the right time. That's for every school in the nation.
Quick points of focus for balance beam rotation. Mars, talk us through.
You want to focus on making it look effortless, beautiful 180 splits that look like a straight line from toe to toe, connections, and a nice dismount with some amplitude. Connections are a big one because if you wait too long or you scoot your foot, you will get 0 on that element, and you can get like a 9.5 score on a 10-0 routine.
Taking a look there at Brooklyn Moore, she set out the bars rotation, but she'll close her day with 2 events. looking to, again, keeping that momentum going for her season. Over to Flora, the Illini, getting a quick look at Chloe Cho. What will the Illini be focused on over on Flora?
We're focusing on artistry, being dynamic, beautiful leaps and control on those landings. In college, you are allowed to take one step back or one step forward. And
Mars, that means we're going to be looking at those front feet. We're going to be looking to see if they scoot. We're the eyes on the floor. We're going to call it like we see it. Everybody's looking to, just like on vault, we talked about minimizing any deduction and optimizing there. So plant that front foot, whether you're going forward or backward.
You better not scoot. We're watching you.
This rotation going to be crucial for the Bruins, and such a big part of their beam lineups this season has been Emma Malabuyo. We talked about her on bars. The Olympian.
The Olympian. I love Emma. I've known her for so long. She won beam January 18th in Maryland with a 9.975, their last competition. I've known her since national team camp, which was 12 years ago. So she's always been an incredible beam worker. A senior, I can't believe she's a senior. Time is flying by way too quickly.
And she's gone 10 before. Important part of that graphic there. The potential, again, like we said, every athlete in this, those blue nails are counting big things in that huddle for the Bruins.
Ball check.
Over on floor, the Illini. It's not a surprise. You know I'm going to say Chloe Cho already. The freshman is a big part of every lineup, but floor especially as well. Look at last week.
Last week, she won floor, rightfully so. Gorgeous routine with a 9.925, which is her career high. And the season is just getting started. So she set the bar pretty high for herself, and I know she'll surpass it in no time.
Chloe Cho on the day, 9.875 on vault, 9.85 on bars. She'll have 2 more events looking to break into that 9.9 range as she did last week.
I'm so distracted by these leotards. Don't you love them?
The shiny lights.
All the bling.
Getting a look here at Emily Lee, a stalwart in this lead-off position. And I would say Emily, historically, through her acro skills, very calm and secure. I would say if any doubt creeps in, sometimes it can be on those leap connections, honestly. Dipping a shoulder, and then the connection becomes a little bit of a question mark.
And question marks are a big no-no. That's when those judges take forever to push the score out. It's because they're probably arguing whether to give the connection or not to.
It's all love, though, for Emily Lee today. She's keeping it cool, keeping it light. Knows exactly the mindset and the space she needs to be in. Green flag is up for Emily Lee from Los Gatos up north.
You are so right about her knowing exactly what to do, and that's why she's in this spot in the first place. Look at her, having the time of her life.
Great shot there of the watchful eye of Lacey Dagan. First big test for an aerial split.
Watch her toes grip that beam. And I'm gonna bring up her smile again, because when you can perform and take the pressure off of being perfect and just having fun, it makes the world of a difference in your gymnastics.
Flip-flop, layout. Questions herself just a little bit, Mars. I don't know if you would agree. It was rushed on the flip-flop and then really had to fight for the second element.
Right, well, like I said, it's not about being perfect, it's about making it look perfect when you get to that landing.
Proving me wrong, though. The switch leap straddle jump was beautifully connected there.
She doesn't want to give any tenths away.
Full turn, saw it break through the core and an arm circle as well.
There's nothing a little dancey dance can't fix.
A little meant to do that. Swings off to the gainer full.
Perfect.
Awesome stretch. Got it back on track. If anything, I see the benefit there for Emily Lee having tests within that routine.
Yes.
Not perfect, but fighting.
Right. She did not give up at all. There wasn't a moment of, I can't do this. What was in her head was probably, how can I adjust?
Leadoff performer here for the Illini, it's Tali Jolson.
I'm already loving it. She has the cutest dimples. gorgeous double pike.
Throws the scrunchie, but stays in bounds.
That's right.
No doubt for the rotation there. So often we see just a hint of kind of doing a 3/4 and then a 1 1/4, but that was beautiful 360 on all those turning leaps for Jolson. Second pass coming up here.
Come on, you got this. Nice, I'll take it.
Got it to her feet, but one step back. 10th in deduction for the out of bounds.
1/10 is better than 5/10 and falling down. So I'm proud of her that she fought to stay in bounds. You don't want to give away tenths. You want to keep as many tenths as you can. Great routine.
Jolson getting the Illini started there. Still waiting on the number for Emily Lee. Caitlin Rosen will have a little bit of a wait here, but getting those words of advice from Lacey Dagan.
She's getting that advice. She's listening to the music. I promise you she'll start dancing a little bit soon.
You and Caitlin had a little moment. I mean, she was your freshman last year, wasn't she?
That's my child. Sometimes it's like looking in a mirror when I watch her do gymnastics. Not necessarily the elements, but just how much fun she's having.
An important aspect to pass along generation after Bruin generation. Emily Lee's number 9725. Definitely not the start. You know, we talk about 9-9 potential in the leadoff, and Emily Lee has done it before. She's even exceeded that. So we'll look to see if Caitlin Rosen can help them rebound a little bit here.
Absolutely, but still, it's just leadoff, and leadoff's main purpose is to give confidence to the team. We still have 5 beautiful routines left, and Emily sets the bar so high for herself with her gorgeous beam. It's hard to beat yourself every competition when you're that great.
There's some discussion around which score unit the assistants on the floor are using, so that looks like it has been clarified, so everybody's seeing the numbers in the arena that they should see. Emma Malabuya, and again, it's kind of that chain reaction. When one person is waiting, everybody is waiting, but Rosen is ready to go in the second slot for the Bruins.
Game face is on. I promise you, when you're in a character and you perform, it takes all the pressure off of being perfect. Just listen to the music and vibe out. Gorgeous loop connection. Cues, and now she's ready.
Fluid and intentional from Rosen so far. Lay.
That's okay.
It's a reality of gymnastics. Definitely not what Rosen wanted to put out there, and you hate to see it because the second element wasn't even close for Rosen today. She'll look to finish things up here.
Well, there's still room for a 9-5, and every score counts. So let's see.
And the competitor mentality, now she's doing mad beam, angry beam.
Oh, angry beam is always phenomenal. Angry beam, you put it where you want it.
Round off 1.5 dismount. Seems to be a little rattled, but 1.5 safely to her feet, 1 pace back. Rosen will have some notes after that one.
She is not happy. She will be in that gym first thing in the morning tomorrow if I know her.
Understandably so. Can update you here with the leadoff for Illinois. It was a 9.575, including that neutral out-of-bounds deduction for Jolston. Eden King, similar to vault, will look to get things with the leadoff for Illinois. It was a 9.575, including that neutral out-of-bounds deduction for Jolston. Eden King, similar to vault, will look to get things back on track.
I want to point out the dexterity in her fingers, which I love looking at in gymnastics. I feel like it just adds a nice level of artistry, and it finishes your movements in the prettiest way.
It's the flourish.
Exactly.
First pass here for King.
Nice. A little too much power. Scooch on the front foot, but sky high and dynamic.
tiny bit off kilter on that straddle leap, but I would say her movement and dance are really matching the pace of the music. She's projecting up and out. Great to see.
She has wonderful musicality. Looking at the students.
They're ready for the fourth rotation. They're ready for some Bruins on floor.
Hey.
Eden King is letting them know that the Illini are also here to play.
Wow, did you see that?
Fights for it. We'll get a look in replay, hopefully, at that 1.5 1-foot slid. She almost buckled a little bit, but got a Branny to her feet. Gutsy performance.
To pull that off, you have to be in the moment. Fix your mistakes.
Right there.
Her right foot just slid from under her like ice skates, and she still managed to pull it around. Awesome.
Yeah, and at that point, you feel it happen, and you have to work hard to get that Branny to your feet. Exemplary fight from Eden King in the second slot. And remember, they had that 9.575 leadoff, not favorable, so she knew she had to fight for whatever was happening there. Speaking of fighting, Emily Lee had that 9.725 leadoff, still waiting on the number for Caitlin Rosen. Some discussion still going on at the judging table, so Shea Campbell will wait. Shea Campbell, prior to the season, in and out of the lineup, had some different skills in place, but this year has settled into kind of something, a series that we don't see from everyone.
Shea, I feel for her. I feel for her bones. She's been doing this for a long time. She is such an amazing competitor. She's always in the zone, and it always inspired me being on the floor with her, just seeing her so locked in. So I expect a great routine right now.
That series, of course, the flip-flop into a layout / back pike, needs to extend through the hips on the beginning of that skill. We're going to get a quick look back here at Caitlin Rosen. Mars, talk us through. Let's see how she sets up her alignment for these first two elements and what culminated with the third.
I'm going to go back to the beginning of the routine when I mentioned how you should see her dancing by now. It's almost uncharacteristic of her that she isn't her silly, goofy self. I feel like maybe she was really a little nervous about this routine prior.
Feeling the weight of Polly, and
yeah,
it's a big responsibility because this Bruin lineup has depth. You're competing for your lineup spot week over week. So Rosen knows there's a lot on the line, but what Coach Janelle McDonald said to us at the beginning of the day, they're swinging big. They're trying to put up the biggest numbers they can as early as possible in the season. And Shea Campbell will look to get things back on track in the third slot following Caitlin Rosen's 8.875.
At this point in the beam lineup, it's about doing it for your team and having each other's back. And Shea is an exceptional team player, so let's see what she can do. Wow.
I would say best series of the year from Shea Campbell. More extension than I've seen from her, even through the warm-up. Great to see.
So solid. She is locked in. Great connection. Zero deduction in my book. She's just in that autopilot right now. Not a wrinkle. Face is completely relaxed. Not that she has any wrinkles. Skin is perfect. Huge. What'd I say? She's going to do it for her team every time.
Clutch performance from Shea Campbell in the third slot for the Bruins. Beautiful to see, and she is hyped up. And off the top, we mentioned that the Bruins are so big on momentum and the shift and the swing. It's important to respond. Early in the season, we saw them succumb to some vulnerabilities of having mistakes and seeing those cascade through the lineup. So Shea Campbell getting things back on track as a true super senior should.
Right.
Great to see there. Eden King, unfortunately below the original, the leadoff score, 9.55 in the second slot. Ariel Ward needs to get things going in a big way for the Illini.
Rudy from a front handspring.
Floaty and dynamic. I think her legs could have been locked out just a little bit through those elements. We'll see how she closes out the routine.
It's so hard to keep legs together and knees straight when you're twisting because gravity just says no.
And yet, here gravity is.
Here it is.
Ariel Ward breaking it down a little bit.
Another nice leap. I would have liked to see more control on that second wolf jump. Look at her. I already forgot about the wolf jump. I'm just interested in how much fun she's having. Gorgeous.
Front lay, front full into a beautiful stag leap at the end. Ariel Ward getting things back on track for the Illini.
Such a great performance. She should be very happy.
Third event that we've seen Ariel Ward on tonight.
She's doing it. She's doing the thing. She's one of those competitors that I feel like gets better every competition. It's just a matter of staying healthy.
Getting a word of advice from former Alabama standout Asia Sims Fletcher in her first year as an assistant role.
Huge fan, Asia. I'm a huge fan. When you were at Bama, you're that girl.
Speaking of back on track, Shea Campbell, 9.85, so great rebound and really doing what she needed to do for this Bruin beam lineup. Brooklyn Moores now, her unmistakable intensity steps up. That leg kick right at the beginning.
I'm nervous. She looked right at me. Nice.
Valdez, you saw a little hand flicker there, though. Kept it going, but had to finesse through her core.
She can finesse anything.
And I think that series was also finessed a little bit.
Yeah.
Really used her chest position to come up slowly, possibly tighten things up. She's working well.
Rarely are beam workers ever perfectly over the top. They just know how to be solid and pull it back onto the beam. See how she's still dancing?
Confident leap sequence. Looks like any early doubt is getting settled down. She'll do a tough front full off the end. We talked about her front tumbling and forward direction prowess.
Nice.
Zeroes in.
Game face was on from the jump.
Getting a hug there from Lacey Dagan, and what you can't feel is the force with which Lacey Dagan is hitting the floor, celebrating those dismounts for this Bruin beam lineup. You see the momentum building, and I think we saw it on Brooklyn's face. Some unexpected things happening, but working through it. Ariel Ward had a 9.75, setting up Emelise Nook in the fourth spot for the Illini.
Double pike. Her landing didn't have any extra steps, but it was a bit too wide, which can be a deduction. Wolf 1.5.
And that's an example. I feel like she's opening the door a little bit with that rotation. Seems like her shoulders came around just a little bit to try and finesse that landing.
For sure, but if you smile big enough, the judges probably won't know. I like how she lunged out of that leap. That's one way to be undeniable with your landing and get credit for the element. All these smiles across the board, it makes me so happy.
Frameable position in that double stag, setting up for the next pass. Front lay.
Beautiful Rudy, the 1.5 twist.
Got really nice bounce up off the floor. I would say the Rudy lifted up, which in those combination passes, it's critical that the second and third skills keep rising.
Yes, higher and higher and higher. Got a secret, can you keep it?
Emelise Nook in the fourth slot for the Illini. I would say that should build on the 9.75 we saw from Ward. Speaking of building, Brooklyn Moores 0.025 ahead of Shea Campbell's 9.85. That means 9.875 for Moores here. Getting one more look at Annalise Nook
She knew that was right on the money.
I'm thinking better of it. The front layout was pretty high, so she kept the Rudy right in line.
But you are right. It's better to be safer than sorry and keep making those elements get higher and higher and higher each time your feet hit the ground.
Here we go.
Beam worker. You see her getting ready. She's saying her cues. There we go.
Had a lot of momentum and carried that back with her shoulders. Stays on the beam.
She's just doing that because she can. She just wants to show you how incredible of an athlete she is. Holding her leg up.
Side aerial again. Really liking the minor adjustments she's making through her core to keep things in line.
I challenge the viewers to watch the gymnast's feet on the beam and see how everyone has different feet and toe placements. Are they gripping the sides of the beam? Are they even using their toes?
Highlight, gainer full.
One-tenth on the landing. It should be a huge score, though.
Small hop forward as Sienna Alipio gets another solid routine in the books for the Bruins. We'll see where the judges go in terms of direction. Quick replay here again. I think this is the highlight. Dynamic, slightly skewed off to the right side.
I think she just wanted to get off of the beam.
Who doesn't?
Exactly.
Quickly now to Chloe Cho, full twisting double back.
She could have added another twist.
A slide and a scooch, yeah. Show us a syllabash. Talked about the year that Chloe Cho had through the elite scene. It's got to be a breath of relief and fun in this NCAA environment.
It always is. It's a big adjustment going from being a single player to being on a huge team, but it makes the world of a difference having your girls scream that you got this at the top of their lungs.
Setting up here again. Another Illini projecting up off the floor to the crowd. Great connection.
Stunning. I love how she danced out of that.
Great way to optimize those landings.
Right.
Really turned over the flip-flop into the 2.5. She was cooking, but knew exactly where she was.
Such a pretty dancer.
Yeah, that's a highlight. You can say that about Chloe Cho in every apparatus for the Illini. Beautiful work there. We saw some of those waivers from Sienna Alipio on balance beam, and the judges did as well. A 9.8 was her score. So Emma Malabuyo, again, the pressure is still on these athletes. Crucial for Emma to finish out the rotation for the Bruins.
Cute nails. Nice. That's one of the hardest skills ever, a wolf turn.
Full wolf turn, and she'll get her early test here.
Nice.
Straight up the beam. And you saw that front foot even adjust a little bit in real time. Aggressive and veteran move for Malabuyo.
It's all about adjusting. And one thing I know about Emma, she hates the camera being in front of the beam and anyone standing directly in front of her. So
really confident and settled in this exercise.
Because she had to put on a show.
A great look here.
She is dancing on the beam like it's a floor exercise.
Gainer full off the side with purpose. Emma Malabuyo in the anchor slot, saving the rotation for the Bruins. Excellent to see. Getting a look down the beam, whether she likes it or not. We're taking a look.
I see that front foot you were talking about, the adjustment. but that's what stellar beam workers do.
But
They
the
figure it
upper
out.
body, no waivers.
Right.
Excellent. Another one for the dismount. Watch this gainer full rise up and the dismount.
Gorgeous.
Zeroes in. Judges hit Chloe Cho a little harder than we expected. I think it was because of that 2.5 pass. Kind of a lurch and an uncontrolled, despite the dance, she had a 9-7. This is Marilee Muller anchoring the rotation.
We should expect tight scores throughout this season. Since mentioned previously, the judges becoming more uniform with their scoring, it's going to take a while for everyone to get on the same page coast to coast.
Muller giving me a little scare in that first pass. The rotation seemed to be slow. She got it to her feet, chest position was down. Deductions will follow. Let's see the second pass.
That looked pretty good to me.
Yeah, solid through the front lay, front full. She's given us a lot.
I know she's tired. She is dancing. I like this music.
Very intense. It's a 3-passer for Muller.
Wow, that was great. I'd have loved to see her chest up on the landing. Do you agree?
She had enough height there.
I know, she could have did it.
Looked secure. So some notes for Marilee Muller to take into next week, but solid one in the books after a couple low scores at the beginning of the rotation. She knew what she had to do. Coach Natalie Walsh giving her a hug there.
Here she is breathing, getting ready for this pass, taking up all the oxygen she can.
2024 gold medalist.
Pacing herself is the name of the game.
Really solid through the flip-flop layout.
Cat leap to switch side.
Talk about the balance of dynamism. Switch side was way up there. Cat leap could have been a little more up in the air, but that is an undeniable full turn.
That full turn was giving Shawn Johnson full turn. Do you remember that at the Olympics? Highest releve I've ever seen.
Channeling the 08 Olympic beam gold medalist just a little bit. Maybe that's who she was calling. Was it Shawn Johnson?
She was saying, hey, Shawn, watch this dismount. What movie is that from?
Look at that. Double full. I would say tidy. Still some notes of improvement for Jordan Childs, but like you said, this is a long season. We're still in January, and we can't expect Jordan Childs to be doing all around every weekend. So great performance there.
Like, we literally just started, so calm down.
Maya Gordon will be the exhibition here for the Illini on floor. Notably, the 2023 Tennessee State all-around champion.
I'm captivated already.
Interesting technique in that front double full. Almost drops her shoulder into the ground and relies on a big punch.
I realized that too.
She's a quick twitch athlete though, really projecting up and out. Great to see sharp movements.
Quick twitch on floor is very helpful, but it kind of gets in the way if you twist because you can twist too early. So it's definitely a double-edged sword.
Love the energy here, but there's some noticeable deductions that are gonna probably be the reasons keeping her out of the competitive lineup. That second element in the combination pass did not rise up to the level of the first, and I would say kind of scrappy form through that leap combination.
But this is perfect because she is going to be able to do film with her teammates, and all of the gymnasts in here should be doing film and seeing what they can improve on and what they're proud of.
Biggest movement we've seen from the Illini on floor, though. She's a great one to have in their back pocket as she develops into a lineup threat. Great to see the third rotation closed out by Maya Gordon there. Teammates thrilled for her getting the opportunity for some experience in that exhibition slot.
Experience is everything.
Bruins coaches, they're happy. We had a clean 5 up within that rotation. Big tests for Janelle McDonald's Bruins squad. Asia Sims getting the squad fired up. We'll be back with the 4th rotation after that. Still a little bit short of that in the other 2 events. Beam, though, for UCLA, righted the ship. Not their best. I wouldn't say not a top 3 in the nation performance, but lots of lessons to be learned from UCLA today.
They set the bar high for themselves. They're competing against themselves.
Speaking of a high bar, it was Emma Malabuyo starting off with that full wolf turn. No doubt there. Great to see her rise to the occasion and really close out the rotation when they needed her the most.
She's such an enthusiastic beam worker.
Front aerial into a leap and acro combination. And on floor for the Illini, Emelise Nook really stood out. We talked about her leg and foot form, specifically on this first pass, the double pike. She dropped out of it. We'll get another look here.
You can see her focused, even though she's still dancing back into that corner.
Yeah, glued together.
Very dynamic gymnast.
Had a 9.825 for this routine. It was the best the Illini had today. So again, short of those 9.9 marks that they notched last week at Nebraska. So they'll look to finish on balance beam, but it's going to be a struggle for Illinois. Historically, they're 40th in the nation on beam here. Getting a look at the end of Emelise's performance. We talked about the combination here. Last pass into the Rudy. Mars, the floor party is starting. What does this energy feel like? What does it remind you of?
I feel like I'm competing right now. Like, I wish you could see how much I'm sweating. I haven't felt like this in months.
You make it look cool. You make it look casual. But the Bruins here, they've had some blips today, but I would say nothing major. So they're looking for kind of a fresh start on floor to really go lights out.
I expect blips right now, and so does Janelle, so does any coach here. It's only the beginning of season, and this is how you go big. You want to go big right now. If you're perfect right now, you're going to peak at the wrong time. It's just about finding how big of a gymnast you can be and how you can control that under pressure. Speaking
of big, we know somebody around here who used to do just that in Poly Pavilion. Taking a look here.
Oh, no.
Who's that girl? This was the swan song performance of your final senior day in Poly Pavilion. What does this make you feel like?
I'm crying.
She still feels it.
Wow. Do you know how long it took for me to do my eyeliner today? Thanks, guys.
It's waterproof.
It's not.
Sending you all the Bruin love and what you projected out. Again, we talk so much about the legacy of this program and the performance quality. A lot about...
Like, she is such a unique athlete, and I really admire her for that she's able to settle into her uniqueness, down from her choreography to her energy. She is one to watch for sure.
Excellent. And on the other side of things for the Illini, as we get a quick look at Caitlin Rosen, it's going to be Knight on their side of things. Amelia Knight for the Illini on balance beam. She's a 5th year, and she has that experience. She's gone as high as 9.925, but had a great week last week.
Yeah, she actually won beam, which as a leadoff is hard to do sometimes, but it's not impossible. You want to put up your strongest beamer in the first and last positions.
So important. We mentioned Caitlin Rosen as a really great performer. If you had one word to tell her right now, coming off of that balance beam miss, what would you want to tell Caitlin Rosen?
What miss? What miss? Go out there and do a routine like you just got a 10 on beam. It's already in the past. Go out there and have fun. You have 1 minute and 30 left of the competition. An unfortunate fall on the balance beam, but it is okay. There's always room for a 9.5, and every score counts. Don't give away any more deductions.
We're joining the competitive routine of Marilee Muller.
She is zeroed in. I like how she has some slow dance elements, some fast ones.
About the variety in that round off 1.5 twist, tiny hop forward.
I like how even though it wasn't her favorite routine, she still finished it like it was a perfect one and held that landing. And that just shows how much respect she has for her gymnastics and for her team.
Just as the Bruins had, it'll be a test for the Illini for the back 5 of their lineup. Today we'll get a look at Mika Webster-Longen on floor. She has that international experience competing for the Belgian national team.
A very artistic gymnast. So much power on that 2.5. She should add another flip out of it.
But she looks comfortable looking right at the student section, knows how to get them involved.
She just stuck her tongue out. I saw that.
Second pass here for Webster-Longen.
Very nice. 1.5 through the front layout. Nice extension. It had good distance.
Beautiful form. Anytime those legs, toes are lifted off the floor, it's the utmost extension from Webster-Longen.
Yeah, I would have done anything for that toe point.
Switch ring into switch half. Front leg a little low on the first element, but the back position, phenomenal.
Deep breath. Rudy to a stag jump. Sells it.
Coach Janelle McDonald said that she needed some experience on vault and getting competitive experience here on floor. It looked great. Obviously some notes on that first pass, a little out of control, a little extra, but good problems to have,
yes.
The freshman performer. And knowing you have a stacked next 5 athletes to go, great way, again, for Mika Webster-Longen to continue to feel comfortable.
That's something to really be proud of. She's having so much fun out there, and that's been the common denominator for a lot of these floor routines that I've seen. Everyone is smiling and enjoying themselves.
Yeah, that was a highlight for me right there.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Tidy Rudy to finish things up. Over to balance beam here, it's Rituja Nataraj. They call her Rutu. Back in the lineup last week with a 9.7, returning from injury. Coach Natalie Walsh was elated to have her back.
Yes, I see her ankle taped.
Another one with international experience, and following a leadoff fall.
She landed on her injured ankle and still managed to keep it over the top.
Yep, it's about managing what you can come to expect, obviously doing that day in, day out. Nice adjustment through her core on that straddle quarter.
No matter where you go, the equipment, it stays in the same place. It doesn't move. You're the one that's moving. And you have to be so aware that you are in control of your body. You have to put it where you want it.
Nataraj, beat jump into front aerial. Full turn comes late in the routine, just a tiny adjustment as she looks to round off 1.5.
Small little hop forward.
Tidy again, but remember they're in a 5-up, 5-hit situation that they need to deliver on, and so Nataraj really got that going for the Illini. Mika Webster-Longen 9.750. The experience of Emma Malabuyo up second.
I just put her on a stage already. Perfect.
Wow. Flawless double pike.
Yeah, we both just looked at each other and went, yeah.
That's the one. Fabulous. We talk about doing things to the utmost extent. That is quintessential Malabuyo in this floor routine.
I saw her toe sock on for this turn. Perfect. That's one of the hardest skills in gymnastics, in my opinion.
I think you've said that a couple times today, Mars. The wolf turn and you?
Hey, we have beef. We have history.
Malabuyo can handle it. We'll look to see if she can handle the last pass here. Going to be a combination.
Patience is everything here when you're tired. Now she can just dance it out. Ouch.
Drops it, but doesn't drop the ball in the second spot for the Bruins. Emma Malabuyo, great day on beam, great day on floor as well. Not forgetting bars. She stuck that dismount early in the second rotation. A great day for Emma Malabuyo. Getting a quick look here. You see the teammates in the background. Even Mika looking on, probably taking a couple notes from this performance. Coach and choreographer BJ Das encouraging in that corner as well.
She does that in the gym too.
Train like you can compete.
It's my motto, in college at least.
1.5 front lay, trusted it and was patient, like you said. And unfortunately, on the right side of your screen, you see Eden King falling off as we get a look at the closure of Malabuyo's floor performance. Nataraj got things back in line with a 9.65, but unfortunate fall for King, so they will count a miss.
10th matters. Every single 10th matters. And no matter what, you should fight for the highest score possible. And it's all about respect for yourself, your gymnastics, your hard work. You deserve to walk off the mat with your head high regardless.
Truly. Hitch kick, switch side, back on track here is Eden King. And like you said, fighting for every 10th. Who's to say what comes up in the NQS story later in the season? Interesting setup there from King. Another tidy 1.5, but landing deductions as well. So Illini not staying on the beam except for one of the first 3 routines, and then not sticking the dismounts either. Unfortunate realities. They have 3 more routines to get us back on track. Speaking of building momentum, though, the Bruins have it going. It's Macy McGowan in the 3rd slot.
Yeehaw. Oh. This is a fun one.
Fun as a freshman. She already knows how to do it. She has an arsenal of tumbling tricks. This first pass, gonna be a tuck full in.
It looked good. She didn't have to second guess that landing and slide that front foot.
It's important not only to match the energy of the crowd in the building, but also the tempo of the music. And I think this is another great example of doing just that. Keeping it fast and mixing it up as well. Full usage of extending all her limbs. Great to see here from McGowan.
I love you, Beyonce.
Malabuyo before her, 9.925. Needs to hit it.
Great 1.5 through the front full.
Talked about the minor adjustment on the first pass.
Yes.
Unnecessary.
Unnecessary. I blame the mat. I'm anti-mats, but that's just my opinion.
The smile, the projection, another one of those undeniable things. Let's look at the quality here into the final pass for McGowan.
A lot of twisting going on. And makes it look easy.
1.5 front full controlled step. I would say very nice. Shoulders were right on top of the hips. No control issues there for McGowan. The team is field. Amelia Knight, we mentioned her as a critical member of this lineup. And I would say actually a tiny flicker of doubt in that back dive, had to really kind of muscle it over.
And that mount isn't even necessary. She just did all of that because she wanted to and she can.
Showing off the flexibility past the back dive mount there was Amelia Knight.
I love it. I love to see it. Take risks and go big.
And in a two-fall situation so far in the rotation, she's not served by being conservative at all. Really have to go for broke and try and get some big numbers in the bank for the Illini.
Scared money doesn't make money. Fight. Nice fight.
She showed some bravery mid-series there, pulled it right back on and able to get the deductions under control.
It's just about breathing and putting yourself back in your gym at home and doing the exact same thing you do every single day.
Tuck side semi, solid through this routine. Full turn coming up here.
I would have liked a little more releve on that full turn, but it looked perfect. Upper body and up. Nice stick.
Gainer full off the side, and like we said, really needed to go aggressive. We saw her learn some lessons through that routine, but that's going to be a solid number that the Illini will look to count there. Through the dismount, kind of kicked up, and the hips were closed the entire time on that gainer full, but was able to zero in on the landing and prevent any further landing deductions there.
You don't want to give anything away that you don't have to. No tents, no scooches.
Here we go. Let's see. Kind of gets stuck right there. From my perspective, has to put those toes back and get the full circle around, but on the right side of your screen, poetry in motion, Brooklyn Morse.
Perfectly said. Front double twist to a front tuck connection. Incredibly difficult.
Talked about dynamism on floor. Her poetry that she's writing includes that for sure in that first pass.
100%.
Amelia Knight, we mentioned her as a critical member of this lineup. And I would say actually a tiny flicker of doubt in that back dive, had to really kind of muscle it over.
And that mount isn't even necessary. She just did all of that because she wanted to and she can.
Showing off the flexibility past the back dive mount there was Amelia Knight.
I love it. I love to see it. Take risks and go big.
And in a two-fall situation so far in the rotation, she's not served by being conservative at all. Really have to go for broke and try and get some big numbers in the bank for the Illini.
Scared money doesn't make money. Fight. Nice fight.
She showed some bravery mid-series there, pulled it right back on and able to get the deductions under control.
It's just about breathing and putting yourself back in your gym at home and doing the exact same thing you do every single day.
Tuck side semi, solid through this routine. Full turn coming up here.
I would have liked a little more releve on that full turn, but it looked perfect. Upper body and up. Nice stick.
Gainer full off the side, and like we said, really needed to go aggressive. We saw her learn some lessons through that routine, but that's going to be a solid number that the Illini will look to count there. Through the dismount, kind of kicked up, and the hips were closed the entire time on that gainer full, but was able to zero in on the landing and prevent any further landing deductions there.
You don't want to give anything away that you don't have to. No tents, no scooches.
Here we go. Let's see. Kind of gets stuck right there. From my perspective, has to put those toes back and get the full circle around, but on the right side of your screen, Poetry in Motion, Brooklyn Moores.
Perfectly said. Front double twist to a front tuck connection. Incredibly difficult.
Talked about dynamism on floor. Her poetry that she's writing includes that for sure in that first pass.
100%.
So far, it's classic Moores on display.
Storytelling.
Wow.
Beautiful leaps.
Wow, wow, wow. One for each of those leaps and jumps.
Higher and higher and higher. Taking her last deep breath.
Here we go. Brooklyn Moores. It's a Rudy to close.
Teammates are in her face screaming.
The reaction of BJ Doss got a little bit in the way, but it was indicative of what was happening on the floor. Brooklyn Moores. Such an incredible performance. Again, gymnastics that makes you feel something. Wants you to move along with her.
She can be her worst critic because she is such a great athlete. Like, that just proves how incredible she felt about that routine. Like, forget the score. Look how happy she is now.
Gonna take another look here. Watch this off the top. That's the closer. Rudy to finish and getting a good look at that landing. Super secure and confident. Outstanding for Brooklyn Moores. We can tell you that over on beam, Amelia Knight had a 9.775, so that's the top number of the day for the Illini. Next up, it'll be Olivia Coppola.
Sometimes the hardest part about competing is waiting for the judge. It's all a mind game. You get cold. The arenas are usually cold.
Judges are getting set. They have a strong number to do. You see the thumbs up discreetly next to the green flag, and we're underway.
I love when the judges smile at you.
Finessing some arm movement through that full turn, and you can look at the situation one of two ways. I mean, the pressure's either on or it's off with the performances that have preceded her. So really striving to do her best is what we're seeing, and doing it in a unique way with that series, side aerial roundoff.
Very unique. I love it.
You can see the split there for Brooklyn Moores, averaging out to a 9.9 for Bruins on floor.
I'm loving her hands and how they just, it's like a punctuation mark on every element in every dance move. It's so pretty.
Left the chest down just a little bit, kept it moving through, and she'll look to get off the beam. Layout gainer full off the side, but again, I'm noticing that hip closure throughout those dismounts for the Illini. Some notes that they can take back, but she went for it.
Right.
Aggressive on the beam.
I think she just wanted to stick it so bad.
Unique series earlier in the routine, but there was side aerial to 2 feet, brings it around quickly, keeps it moving right before this dismount. Yeah, never got that full extension of the layout, just needs to wait a little bit more, kick a little harder and higher, but thrilled with that performance. It was gutsy. Speaking of performance, it's Shea Campbell on floor. Let's sit back and watch.
Misdemeanor in the house.
Veteran status on the full end.
Don't let the smile fool you. I know she is tired. That's the first thing I said when she picked out all this floor music. I'm like, girl, you're gonna be dancing nonstop.
She's finding the energy. Bringing it home for the Bruins. Trying to set up Jordan Childs after her. Here we go, Shea Campbell.
Beautiful. That could be a perfect landing.
Technically, no doubt there. Just stood up a little quick, takes that step forward in the lunge.
That's another veteran status landing. The texture in her dance is so intentional.
She's got layers, and we'll see what layers she has to add on to this combo pass to close.
I love it.
Exactly what the Bruins have come to expect, and the fans at Pauley have awaited up until this moment. More Shea Campbell is always a good thing. Look at that, the variety, you said the texture in the dance,
Yes.
even the facial expressions.
All of it is intentional and practice. And where's her stage, honestly?
Front foot right there, planted.
This is her Missy Elliott World Tour debut.
Let it be known.
Manifest greatness.
Shea Campbell will come back with a Coppola before her.
Cho
975. We'll see how the Cho Show closes out today.
She needs a podcast called The Cho Show.
There you go. She's just a freshman, so she's got some time to develop both on and off the apparatus. Love that variety, though. The
Just
Illini
beautiful.
do have moments and glimmers of doing things a little bit out of the ordinary. We saw it in a series. We see it in these mount sequences. Great potential there. They've just got to deliver and minimize those falls.
So solid on that series.
Very solid. Took her time. Made sure she was square right in the setup all the way through.
She is really taking her time, but it doesn't feel slow motion. It just feels like she's
Intentional.
breathing. Yes, exactly.
Exactly what you want to see on beam, especially from a freshman. Side aerial there. Love how fast she got her chest up into that finish position. We see it usually past the halfway mark in these routines. Really settle in, begin to breathe as she sets up for the dismount. Round off, 1.5. Confident from the Cho Show to close things out. Let it back and just trusted her training there.
Not gonna lie, that gave me butterflies. How she hit that mat, it was so satisfying. Didn't move at all. Great.
Really great to see, especially from the freshman. The unfortunate outcome of that middle pass step lunge forward was a 985 from Shea Campbell, but still nothing to slouch at, and we'll close out the day with Jordan Childs on floor. She wants to party like it's 1999. Who wouldn't?
Who wouldn't? Stellar. Prince would have loved this. Like, this is great choreography. BJ really did her thing.
The performance quality present at every second.
Every second. And like we said, it's intentional.
Time to go a little crazy and bring this one home. Bruins need a big number.
Signature dive roll. Taking her last breather. Patience right here. See that landing.
Jordan Childs making it rain in Pauley Pavilion. The Bruin fans have been waiting for that one. Always great to have her back in Westwood, the 2024 Olympic gold medalist. Serves her Bruin family well. You talk about the technical prowess through all of that tumbling, through the jumps, through the leaps, through the nuance of the choreography. These passes, again, you're going to see a flip-flop, a back handspring that sets those big flipping elements exactly where they need to be. And what does it give her, Mars? It gives her time to see.
Reaction time.
Joining Megan Sapp in the exhibition routine for Illinois. Good competitive test again. The lineup before her had some misses, so this is a great opportunity for her to say, hey, you can rely on me. Put me in that lineup. I'll deliver. And she's solid through the series.
100%. This is where you can show off all of your hard work.
Who said compulsories? Who said compulsories with that cartwheel?
I would not choose to do a cartwheel on the beam. I would rather do a backflip with no hands than a cartwheel.
It's a bigger test than you might think. I really appreciate the switch leap before the switch half, but I don't think she hit that 180 that we're saying is so crucial. So that'll be another note of opportunity as she looks to get into this lineup.
I'm still stuck on that cartwheel. Cartwheels are hard. I fall on them all the time.
She made it happen. Gainer full off the side, and you can tell these exhibition performances are important for these athletes. Coach Natalie Walsh, obviously very proud of what Megan Sapp could do. Now we're in for another treat. You thought the Bruin Flow Party was just 6 athletes deep. No. There's more to see here, and this is one a long time in the making. This is Sydney Barrows.
All right, fans, here we go.
Sydney.
If you could set the tone with one word for this routine, what would it be?
Showstopper. Is that 2 words?
We'll hyphenate it.
Maybe I didn't go to college. Oh, I know what I'm going to say. Calor.
Hace color in Pauley Pavilion. 1.5 front full.
Routines where I was like, girl, are you sure? You're going to be really tired. And she said, yes.
And another one of those routines where I see the technique in that back handspring. It allowed her to set the double tuck up. She had time to see it. Really secure landing for Sydney Barrows.
It's always better to go big for the stick. Contrary to belief, holding back is not easier to stick a landing.
Showing off here, Sydney Barrows. Wow. Que linda from Barrows. Beautiful, inspired by her Puerto Rican heritage. Amazing work, and you can see even the exhibition slots mean so much to these Bruin athletes. Great step in her long journey. You can tell the relief on her face, the joy from her teammates, hugging Coach Janelle McDonald there. Exceptional to see, and really culminated with that lights out performance, Prince routine from Jordan Giles. They're 8 clapping here in Poly. It's a solid note to end the day on. Here we go. Jordan Giles knows how to close out a rotation. Sets it up here. The flip-flop, the landing. Jordan Giles for the Bruins. On floor at a 49.5. I would say bars and beam dipped a little below, but really started strong on vault as well, getting some new faces in the lineup and some Yurchenko fulls with the insurance there from Ayimi. On the other side of things, the Illini, this was a big matchup for them. We saw, unfortunately, the wheels fall off on beam at the end, but some lessons to be learned. It was a big trip to travel across the country from Champaign, and they'll take this back into the rest of their season with some good lessons.
I feel like if you can make it through a competition with such extensive travel early on in this season, it sets you up for success. Everything doesn't seem as big of a deal.
And like you said, it's a long season. So getting every meet as an opportunity to learn something different, to get some more experience in a newer, different way. And in the reality of gymnastics, that means having some challenges thrown your way as well.
These students have several challenges that impact their gymnastics, such as finals, such as midterms, projects, group projects. The gymnastics is only half the bit when it comes to being a student athlete, and they pull it off effortlessly.
They sure do. We're going to go live to the floor, get the scores for the day.
And from UCLA, Jordan Giles. With a score of 9.925 on the uneven bars. In first place from UCLA, Frida Esparza. With a final score of 9.925 on the balance beam. In first place from Illinois, Chloe Cho. With a final score of 9.950 on the floor. Winning today from UCLA, #1, Jordan Giles. And now the all-around results with a final score of 39.4. From UCLA, Shea Kimball. And finally, our team placements, finishing with a score of 194.750. The Fighting Illini from Illinois. And your champions today with a final score of 197.2, UCLA! The Bruins had a 9.95 routine during today's meet. That means everyone is going home with free liquid IV. Don't forget to grab yours on the way out of the venue this afternoon. One more time, let's hear it for the ladies. And here